What is up, everybody? This is Ray from Rated R Reviews, and I'm doing this very, very late into the year so far because a lot of other movie reviewers have already given you their top 10, their worst 10, their top blah, 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 their whatever. I haven't had an opportunity to see every single movie that came out last year, and I'm trying to catch up still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the few best options for movies that came out last year. So my personal favorites, pretty much. Here we go. Okay, so first, there's no particular order to these movies. So one of the movies that stood out to me, definitely that I highly recommend to everybody, is going to be the movie Split. How the hell could you guys not have the movie Split on your top 10 or your top 15? Okay, so Split was brought to you by M. Night Shyamalan, written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan. The movie stars James McAvoy and Anya Taylor-Joy. James McAvoy, in every single movie this guy is in, he gives his best. He gives his grade A performance, top level, top notch. How could you not like him in any movie that comes out? And then this time he plays a psychopath with 22 different personalities. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm in Florida and it's kind of hot in my room right now. Anyway, yes, see Split. There's a twist ending if you haven't seen it already. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it leads to something else, and we're gonna have more Split. Definitely, Split is one of the best movies of 2017. Okay, so Get Out. It stars Daniel Kaluuya. Daniel Kaluuya, if you remember, he's in like a couple of I remember him in one of the episodes in Black Mirror. Daniel Kaluuya, Allison Williams, Lil Ray Howery all give great performances. Lil Ray Howery is more like the comedic, and Daniel, it gives a little bit more of a cool edge, but also a very serious, dramatic performance because of what happens in the story. This movie touches on racism. It touches on first meetings, first impressions, and then obviously last impression. Written by Jordan Peele. It's a genius movie. Jordan Peele did a great job. He's going to be making more movies. They offered him to try to do a live action Akira movie. He turned it down because it's not his type of story to tell. Okay, the next movie on my list that is a must watch is definitely falls into the superhero category. Unlike Get Out and Split, they're going to be more on the psychological tip. But this one is going to be obviously Logan. Okay, so the movie Logan is directed and written by James Mangold, starring Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and Daphne Keane. There are other actors, there are other people in the movie, but those three people right there are the main reason why you're gonna go see the movie. Alright? Logan, played by Hugh Jackman, of course, for the past 17 years. This is his swan song, his ending, his everything, his blah, 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 blah. Is old, elderly, taking care of Professor Xavier, which is played by Patrick Stewart, masterfully, might I add. And they come across some situation where there's a little girl they have to take care of because all the other mutants in the world have kind of died off, and this little girl is a mutant. And the story takes off from there because there's a company hunting them down, government officials hunting that little girl down because she's one of the last mutants. The story takes a nice little twist, has a twist in the middle, has a twist toward the ending, has some gruesome violence, has some incredible acting. It just has a lot of heart, so I highly recommend it. If you didn't see Logan this year, what the hell is wrong with you? Go watch Logan. The sun is getting brighter. Alright, so the next movie, I don't really have a countdown or anything like that. It's just another movie that stands out in my brain. It's gonna be the Patty Jenkins Gal Gadot combination that created the beautiful and fantastic movie Wonder Woman. Finally, we had the origin story of Wonder Woman, which is one of the most iconic American superheroes or heroines ever to exist. She is one of the first female superhero that actually stood out during the 1930s, 1940s, all the way to now 2017 or 2018 now, but the movie came out in 2017. But the movie was great. A lot of people talk so much trash about it just because it's coming out of the DCEU and they already had so many problems with Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad and blah 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 blah. But Wonder Woman beat everybody. It took the cake. It brought out a beautiful heroine that can kick ass. She is an Amazonian soldier, warrior, princess, whatever you want to call her, and she'll still bring a freaking sword to your throat if you disrespect it. Fantastic movie, loved it. It has to be one of those best movies of any year. Wonder Woman. Now, the next movie I'm gonna actually tell you guys about kind of took me by surprise right out the gate. I was watching the movie, and one of my friends suggested it to me like the second week that it was out. I was like, all right, cool, I'll check it out. The movie is written by Edgar Wright. I don't know if you guys know who Edgar Wright is. He's the guy who's supposed to do Ant-Man for Marvel, but then he gave up the script right back to Marvel. He's like, nah, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna do something that I wrote. And it was just like, whoa, my man turned down Marvel. He's either crazy or he's a genius. Wound up, freaking guy's a genius. He wrote and directed the movie Baby Driver, starring Ansel Elgort, Jamie Foxx, Kevin Spacey, and John Hamm. The whole movie is based around Baby Driver, who was played very well by Ansel Elgort, and he has this affinity for music, and he does everything to a beat, to a tone, just so that way he just loves it so much. You have to respect it, because who doesn't love music, right? So they're planning these bank robberies, these heists, and Kevin Spacey is like the main guy who's setting up all these heists, and he sets them up with a crew, and Baby Driver is pretty much always the driver because he is the best driver that he's ever seen. He can always get out of a tight spot. And well, the movie has an incredible soundtrack, 2, an incredible cast, 3, a very fun and fast-paced story, 4, it doesn't go off into like this what I was afraid of is that it would go off into this Fast and Furious type of scenario, and it didn't. It went off into more like a Need for Speed police chase type of thing, which I found refreshing because it was fun, because the action sequences were done so well, plus the music going along with the action sequences was incredible, fit perfectly. I totally fell in love with this movie. I've seen it 3 times since. You guys definitely have to check out Baby Driver if you have not seen it yet. That's one of the best of 2017. Next on the list has to be another superhero movie. Damn it, the superhero movies are cleaning up everything they can possibly find. And yet again, it's another Marvel movie, of course. So, Thor Ragnarok came out later in the year, but damn it, did Thor take over. Holy Jehoshaphat, whatever you want to say. Thor seriously took over a lot of stuff. Okay, it was directed by Tahiti Waititi. I mangled that name, I apologize. But he has this comedic sense and great action sense, and my man really nailed the freaking head on this movie, because oh my god, this movie came out so good. Okay, Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Mark Ruffalo, who the hell else is in this movie? The girl, I have to give Kate Blanchett, Chris Hemsworth, did I say Chris Hemsworth? Chris Hemsworth, Anthony Hopkins, of course, and Idris Elba, Tessa Thompson. This is what I wanted to talk about. Tessa Thompson. If you saw the movie Creed, she's in the movie Creed. She plays Michael B. Jordan's love interest. Tessa Thompson plays a Valkyrie, which is one of the strongest Asgardians, or the Asgardians warriors for Thor and Odin and all these people. They have the protectors for the gods. They are the protectors of the gods. How badass is that? So in the story, Thor gets thrown off into some other planet because he fights his sister Hela. And Hela, played by Kate Blanchett, beautifully, is kicking everyone's ass. Okay? The movie is one of the funny, they have funny one-liners after another, one after another, and you just start laughing so much. And then the action sequences, oh man, the action sequences in this movie alone destroy other movies completely, entirely. Thor fights the Hulk. That's it. That's all you need. That's all you freaking need for this movie. And the things that you have, Thor fighting the Hulk. You have Loki in there. You have Thor fighting a Valkyrie. You have a Valkyrie fighting another goddess. You have 2 gods. Then you have this fire freaking demon. Listen, Thor Ragnarok is one of those that you should not miss, period. Thor Ragnarok, one of the great movies of 2017, or of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. One of the best in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Definitely top 5 in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I gotta do that eventually. Next movie, Mr. Chad Stahelski, I thank you very much for taking over the reins of the John Wick series. John Wick 2, come on. Keanu Reeves kicking ass physically and with guns and shooting this, that, and the third, and he has a cool plot line about he has a blood oath that was broken when he killed blah blah blah. So, Keanu Reeves, action-packed story, action-packed scene. Common did a great job. They had this great back and forth repertoire. They had this great scene of this woman who had to give up her power, and John Wick was trying not to kill her, but she had to be, and then it just takes off from there. And the ending, man, okay. The ending of this movie, I absolutely loved it for the simple fact that it seemed 100% hopeless. That's why I love the ending. I love the first movie better than John Wick 2, so John Wick 1 is a better movie than John Wick 2, but that ending, I was like, oh, where the hell are they gonna go now? And they're filming John Wick 3 right now. It's gonna come out, I believe, in another, maybe summertime. I believe it comes out summertime, but hey. John Wick 2, I personally loved it better than a lot of other movies out there that won critical acclaim and blah, 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 blah. But John Wick 2, I love that film. Next on the list, now in the murder mystery genre, I'm gonna have to give it to Wind River. Was written and directed by Taylor Sheridan, starring Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. There's also a few other people in there, but they kind of are surprises for the story, so I'm not going to mention those actors or actresses. Wind River is something I believe everyone has to see because this is a drama, a thriller, mystery that literally, when the movie started, I was kind of like on my phone looking at a couple things like, okay, they're in the winter, they're in the mountains, blah, 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 Wyoming. Okay, all right, that guy shot an animal, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden, the movie just picks up into this murder mystery. This girl is running through the woods, and she's barefoot, running through ice and snow, and she's in the middle of nowhere, and she just drops. And it's just like, now you gotta figure out what happened to this girl. Jeremy Renner comes across her body, and Jeremy Renner's character has his backstory. The Elizabeth Olsen's character has a backstory. The family of this girl has their own backstory. The girl has a backstory, and then what happened to the girl, when you find out later in the film, you're just like, Wind River has great performances, great visuals, absolutely beautiful cinematography. When I say the acting performances of Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen are top notch, man, Jeremy Renner at one point was telling a story where I got emotional because it's coming from a father's point of view. And I literally, like, when he's just speaking, it's like I felt every single word this man was saying. And it was just like, that can only come from either the greatest, like one of the greatest actors ever, or someone who is a parent. Because every single word he said at that one particular scene, I was just like, I'm good. So yeah, Wind River, definitely highly recommended. Highly recommended. I saw the movie twice already. It stays with you, especially if you're a father. Alright, so the next movie I'm gonna mention is gonna be obviously another Marvel superhero movie called Spider-Man Homecoming. Tom Holland as Spider-Man definitely brought back the genre, because I'm sorry, I hated the last 3 Spider-Man movies. And I'm not even a big Spider-Man fan, but I really hated the last 2 movies with that other kid. Like, he's a great actor, the other kid. I forget his name right now. But those 2 Spider-Man movies, the story sucked. They looked great, but the story sucked. And then obviously, of course, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3. Might as well just took a shit on a cracker and put a spider on top of it. That movie was trash. I don't know what the hell happened with that thing. But anyway, Tom Holland's Spider-Man Homecoming saved it. The Marvel cinematic universe has a great superhero within this kid, Tom Holland, and I'm really looking forward to see what he does in the future with this character. Let's hope he actually does show up in Venom. Okay, there is no way, shape, and or form that I can possibly have a best of for 2017 movies without mentioning the horror movie of the year. Actually, I think it's the horror movie of the past 10 years, because I've seen a lot of bad horror movies and I've seen a couple of really good ones, you know, with The Conjuring being in there, The Conjuring 2, Insidious, stuff like that. And damn it, it's warm in here, and I have a spotlight on me and a light behind me. But anyway, there is no way you can have a top 10 and someone not mention it. If I had to put it, like, none of these are in a number order. They're not a number category, okay? But the movie It, I would have to say, would be the top of everything that I saw this year. When I say it had great acting from kids, from children, this thing had great acting. Are you kidding me? Then on top of that, it had a fantastic villain in Pennywise. In Pennywise the Clown. Screw that, it's a remake. Forget that it's a remake. The acting and the character development, the character portrayal, it was amazing. The visuals were great. They were creepy. They were scary when they were in the house, when they were in the street on their bikes, thinking things to themselves in the bathroom. Everything was creepy. I know people who, when this movie was on, they put their headphones on and they just started going to their phones because they were scared shitless because they didn't want to see the movie because they knew they were gonna have their minds would run wild at nighttime. So listen, It was one of those movies that if you missed in a theater, you missed out. You missed out on 200 people or 250 people screaming at the same time, going, "Oh shit!" It was amazing. I've seen It twice already in theaters, and I'm definitely gonna buy it on Blu-ray, 4K, whatever, once I have the opportunity to. It was definitely my favorite